It's Missy here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to another day in my 2022 holiday card series. In today's video, I have the most epic of epic. Let me tell you, like sometimes I surprise myself and amaze myself, and this one's amazing. If you are in the United States, you have to let me know if you've ever had a Christmas tree cake from Little Debbie. I swear, like, Little Debbie has its own little subculture in the holidays around Christmas tree cakes. So, which are basically little cakes in the shape of a Christmas tree. They are basically a zebra cake that has that has green sugar crystals on top. I mean, really, that's really the only difference. They're so bad they're good, but it's such an inside joke between me and a lot of my friends because it's always like who can find them first in store. We stocked up. Maybe you saw my reel. I have a shirt that I'll try to remember to share. Like Christmas tree cakes are kind of their own little sub. It's like Pinkmas. Like Pinkmas is kind of taking over the world this year. Christmas tree cakes are also taking over the world. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you kind of like a little gift set, something that you can make that's homemade that you can give to a friend. And you can use these, you know, to not make Christmas tree cakes. But in this video, we're making Christmas tree cakes. So I'm going to walk you through how to make a notepad, like a little 3x5, 3.5 by 3.5 inch notepad, like for notes. Duh. Not post-it notes. They're not going to stick, but they are going to be in that shape. I'm going to share with you how to make some shaker bookmarks. And then finally, I'm going to share with you a fun set of cards. So if you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. And yeah, let me shut up. Let's head over to the craft table and we'll get started. So I am going to start in Photoshop today. So I sized a new document to 3.5 by 3.5 because that's what size I wanted my notepad to be. And this is the image. This is the 'Tis the Season. I just searched Christmas tree cakes on Etsy, and this is one that pulled up, and I really liked it, so we're going to use it. Initially, I thought I was going to use this red paper, and when I went to print this, I didn't care for it. It felt like it was too dark. So what I did was I put a rectangle behind it, and I put that actually end up on top of the image, so the image wouldn't be quite as bright, because I want whoever gets this to have an opportunity to actually write on it, because that's what it's supposed to do. Excuse me, that's what it's supposed to do. So after printing it, I was like, no, I don't like that red. So I brought in this star paper, and again, I have the square on top of the image to turn down the opacity. I ended up printing 6 per sheet, and that worked out beautifully. Actually, these turned out really, I'm like, ooh, this is really cute. So here is a look at the other supplies I'm going to be using. I've got some chipboard, I've got some glitter. That tape is 1/8 inch. I've got some glitter paper, and then I have the tree dies from, I want to say those are from Spellbinders. Don't quote me on that. So for the chipboard, Amazon, I believe these are 5x7. I actually buy the 5x7 magnetic sheets, the self-adhesive magnetic sheets, and adhere them together, and that's how I store my dies. But for this project, I am cutting down all of my notepads to 3.5 by 3.5, because that's how I sized it. And then I'm also going to cut a piece of chipboard to 3.5 by 3.5. And what I'm going to do is once I get all of these cut up, I'm going to put them all together, and I'm going to put the chipboard on the back. And that's so it has some stability. So initially I was going to make 2 notepads, and I decided to just do one at a time. I didn't want to be too ambitious and screw it up, because let's face it, that would probably happen. So initially I put binder clips on the side, and I'm just trying to make sure that there's no bubbles, like nothing is bending. It's as straight and as lined up as possible. And once I do that, I'm going to add the binder clips to the side so I can add some liquid glue to the top. So, and that's really all it takes to make a notepad right there. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the trick. So I brought in some liquid glue from Stamp Anything, but literally any liquid glue will do. I like this one because it dries clear. So if some happens to get on the front, because let's face it, your girl is a bit messy, then it was easy to just remove, and it wasn't, it was clear. So you couldn't really even see it. So once I get the glue on the top, I'm going to move the binder clips to the top. That way it holds it together. And that worked out beautifully. It really did. So for my bookmarks, I am using the fuse tool, which I haven't used in probably years. And then this is, or was, a 6x6 or 6x8? Possibly 6x8 page protector. You can use a regular page protector for this, like an 8.5 by 11, but I had one or two of these small ones. This is what I store my stencils in. So I was able to use one that was extra. So a fuse tool is basically what it says it is. It just fuses plastic together. You have to go over it several times, and then they have this ruler. So one end of this is open and the other end is already sealed. I'm doing it that way because I'm going to be making shaker bookmarks. So once I get my plastic ready and everything is sealed up, I'm going to bring in some sequins and stuff. So the bottom is already sealed, but I wanted to go ahead and give it a finished look because the sides and the top of this is going to have what you can see of kind of like the grid, the lines that the fuse tool leaves. So I thought it would be a good idea to just give it a little bit of a finishing touch, and I really like how this turned out. Again, you don't have to make a shaker bookmark. Initially, I thought I'd make a magnetic one, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll do both. And then I was like, no, it took me a long time to do these shaker ones. I'm not going to lie. Initially, I thought I might be able to do this with laminating pouches or laminating. Yeah, I guess they're pouches. No, that did not work. Don't try that. It did not work. So I'd already made a mixture. This is some stuff from Stamp Anything. There's some Santa hats. There's the tree sprinkles that came with the Holidayville grab and go box. And then I had some red and green sprinkles that I added in. And I'm just using one of the notepad papers that I cut incorrectly. I'm using that as a funnel. You had to know that was going to happen. That's why I printed so many. Because I was like, I am going to screw up. There's no way I'm not going to screw up. So once I got the shaker bits in, I went ahead and sealed off the top of the bookmark. And I went ahead and made 3 bookmarks. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Because I only read on my Kindle. Well, I don't even read on my Kindle. I read on the Kindle app on my phone. It's easier that way for me because I don't have to worry about trying to hold open a heavy book. But yeah, these turned out so fun. So once I get those done, I'm going to go ahead and use my paper trimmer to cut them out. And like I said, I made 3. Once I do that, my next step is going to be to cut out my trees. So I used the 2 smaller trees, and I cut out 6 of each. Actually, 6 of each. So I'm just cutting down the glitter paper that I picked up off Amazon to fit. And then I am going to, you guys know I like to do more than one at a time. And that worked out really, really well. So for the small ones, I cut out 6, but I'm only going to use 3. So what I'm doing is I'm adding one to the back. I wanted this to be, I didn't make it double-sided necessarily because only one side's going to have the glitter, like the quote-unquote frosting and the sugar crystals. But I didn't want the back to look unfinished. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to bring in that 1/8 inch tape, and I'm just going to add 4 or 5 stripes to these trees. Again, Amazon. Seriously, if I get an idea and I need something quickly, I just buy from Amazon. If it was something that I thought of months in advance, I don't mind ordering from AliExpress, like sequins, those kinds of things, because what you find on Amazon is basically people reselling stuff that they bought off AliExpress or Alibaba. So I don't feel bad. Now, I do not buy the counterfeit stamps. I mean, if I recognize art, like the other day I saw some that were Hello Bluebird, you know, rip off of Hello Bluebird. I was like, no, I won't do that. So I am using a bone folder to burnish this tape down. That's so the tape doesn't lift up. And I have a brand new bottle of red glitter because I didn't have any red glitter anywhere. Couldn't find any. So I am going to take the paper backing off this tape, and then I'm just going to use my scissors, not my scissors, my tweezers to dip these into the glitter. And I'm just using a pokey tool to take off the backing tape. And you don't have to worry about the excess because we will get that off later. But once I get that on, I'm also burnishing the glitter onto the tape. And this helps prevent it from going everywhere. It's still it's glitter. It's still going to go places, but it's not going to be nearly as bad. Okay, so when I did this on the little trees, I used this pickup stick from We Are Memory Keepers or Silhouette. I don't even remember. Later, you're going to see me use tweezers. It was so much easier to just use tweezers to dip them in and out. I can't even begin to tell you. So these are just glass beads. Again, Amazon. If I were to do this again, I may do seed beads rather than these, but these really kind of look like a Christmas tree cake. I should probably pop in a Christmas tree cake picture at the beginning. So for those of you who may be overseas or those of you who are in the US and you're like, Misty, what are you talking about? It's kind of like a cult following now. I see Christmas tree cakes everywhere. I saw when I was searching on Etsy, there was one that says, I wouldn't do anything for a Klondike bar, but I would do some shady stuff for a Christmas tree cake. It's like, they're so good. They're so bad. They're good. If you are a little Debbie eater and you've ever had one of their zebra cakes, it's basically a zebra cake, except it's got sugar crystals on it and it's shaped like a Christmas tree. That is literally the only difference of them. So, yeah. So I use my crocodile to poke a small hole or punch a small hole in the top of the trees. And I also use the crocodile to punch the larger hole in the top of the bookmark. And I am just threading through some ribbon, and I just like sent the loop through, and then so I could loop the, just tuck the ends back through the loop. I don't know how to explain that any better than that. But here you can see I'm pushing the loop through. And then I'm going to pull it and can make it open and then push the tails in through that. And it gives it, so I don't have to try to tie a crazy bow or something like that. I wasn't in the mood for that. And then I'm just going to tuck this back in and kind of push it through together. I did this 3 different ways and it all end up looking the same. So it's just whatever feels easiest for you. The green is actually embroidery floss that I did not separate. So that's why it looks so thick. So once I've done that, I'm going to cut off the tails and then I'm going to bring in a lighter to light the edges of the ribbon. This is satin ribbon. Satin ribbon has a tendency to, what's the word I'm looking for? Fray. So, yeah, you're going to want a lighter, I have like one of the Bic lighters and it's literally a second and it's just to seal you're basically melting the end of the ribbon so it doesn't fray. So there's the bookmark. So much fun. And again, you can make these any kind of theme that you want. So yeah. And you could probably use tape. I've seen some people on Instagram using tape. They put tape down, then they put glitter on it and they put tape down again. All right, so I'm repeating the same process, just these are bigger trees. I'm still using that tape. I got 3 rows. I could probably make 1,000 Christmas tree cakes. Maybe I will. Maybe that will be a popular draw to the Etsy store. If you haven't already, I have hundreds of cards in the Etsy shop. This may be the last year that I sell my cards. So if you're interested, I would go ahead and grab some. I haven't made that decision just yet, but it is something that's on my radar. But we'll talk about that later in the month or closer as we get to the new year, because I have not made a final decision. Okay, so again, I am using my pick tool to take the tape off, and there I laid it. It accidentally fell down and got stuck. I was like, dang it. Dang it. And you can see here I originally had 6, but we only ended up with 5. Yeah. Things happened. Things happen. And I'm using a powder tool because for the last few, I wrapped the tape around the back, which was not my brightest idea ever in my life, but I did it and it's done and I did it. So I don't think I showed it on camera, but I did burnish the tape down with the bone folder. You can see it right there beside me. And I am just sprinkling more glitter on. And then again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to burnish the glitter onto it. This just helps it stick a bit better and to make sure it doesn't come off the tape. This was a very messy job. If you're someone who doesn't like glitter, I do not recommend. 10 out of 10, do not recommend this, but you could use, I could have easily cut down strips of glitter paper, and done that, but I felt like this actually might be faster. So I have this little ladybug. She is a glitter or like a little desk vacuum, again, Amazon, and it works pretty good. I didn't want to throw this paper away, but it had a lot of glitter on it. So I did that and put it off to the side, then went over my desk as well. And then I also keep the Swiffer cloths in a drawer, and I will use that to go over my desk as well. I'm using the bead. I think these are called perler bead. No, they're not perler beads. Shoot. Just some glass beads will do. And again, using just Stamp Anything glue and a pair of tweezers, and you can see just how much faster this actually was. And I'm making sure to put on an odd number. I think I ended up putting around 11 on each one. Again, I like it in odd numbers. You don't get this much on a Christmas tree cake, but it's still fun. Okay, so I had exactly enough of these red doilies left, so I went ahead and put those aside. I went ahead and printed out 2 sheets of the star paper that I used earlier, the star pattern that I used on the notepad, but I printed 4 per page and then I cut them down. So they ended up being 3 3/4 by 5. And then I cut down some cheap, thin, I think this is Recollections green, to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just adhering those together. So for the sentiment, I created my own. And it says, "It's not the holiday season until the first Christmas tree cake has been eaten." And it's a mouthful, but I thought it was fun. So it's kind of a running joke between me and my friends, especially on Facebook. It's always like a game to see who can find the Christmas tree cakes first. And this time we stocked up because last year we only found them once. Rob tried the Christmas tree cake ice cream. It's all right. I prefer the Nutter Butter or the Honey Bun Little Debbie ice cream, but the Christmas tree cake one was just way too sweet for me. And then Hearst Donuts here in DFW, they made a Christmas tree cake donut, which was literally a big Christmas tree cake on top of a donut. And I'm like, that's a lot, because there's big Christmas tree cakes and then there's little Christmas tree cakes. But yeah, if you are in the South and you've never tried one, you gotta, okay, just once. You don't have to ever try them again. And like I said, they're basically the zebra cakes, the Valentine's heart cakes. Really the only difference is that they come with the green sugar crystals. And again, they've become kind of a cult classic. They have other flavors, but we never really cared for the other flavors. So I am using some Scotch foam mount adhesive on the back of my Christmas tree cakes because I wanted to pop them up. I'm also going to use it on the back of the sentiment strips, and then the ones that are going to go on the inside of the card are just going to be glued down. I will say that I should have gone ahead and just done red with white writing on the inside sentiment as well, because the whites don't match. And I know a lot of people don't care about that, but it kind of drives me a little bonkers. So yeah, but once I get that done and these get adhered, that's it. That's it. You guys will have to let me know if this is something you'd like to see more in the future, or if this is something you would be interested in purchasing, like little gift suites, I guess. I don't even know what to call this, but yeah. So there are 5 cards. there's a bookmark, and then there is a 50 or 60 sheet notepad. So that's it, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe while you're here and turn on your post notifications. Again, let me know if this is something you'd like to see in the future, or if this is something you'd like to see me offer in the Etsy shop. That would be something I wouldn't mind doing. And yeah, other than that, I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces, and I will see you Monday for my next video. Bye for now.